Take these broken wings. I need your hands to come and heal me once again so I can... Oh, yeah, I forgot. We're doing this interview. Check this out. FanSiteTV.com. I'm RL from Next. Log in. Check me out. Maybe you'll hear a little bit more of that.
All of those relationships gone bad. I wanna thank you for guiding me and showing me love. I was just a boy and not a man.
When I did The Best Man with Genuine, Tyrese, and Case, and I was so fearful that I wouldn't be on the level that they were on because they were all solo artists. But I got in the studio and I actually surpassed my wildest expectations for myself, and it became so natural, and I was like, if they can do it, maybe I could do it too. Yeah, it's through EMI. It's called Motion Picture Music. Tony Draper, who's like a legend from Memphis, man, he lived in Memphis. He had 8-Ball and MJG. He's like my big brother. He came along and seen that I was frustrated, to be honest. I didn't want to come out with the snap music. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be that cat that's trying to hold on to his youth, being young or trying to do records that are on the radio right now. That's not me. I'm 34 now. I've been in the game almost 15 years. I don't want to be the old guy in the club in the corner. That's not, I can't do that. So he understood that. He respected what I was trying to be as an artist. And we got a situation through EMI, and he's really pushing me and letting me handle the creative. He handles the business, and something's coming soon. Yeah, when you listen to the radio, it gets frustrating. I'll have people come up to my studio and I'll play records from the album, and they've asked me, like, don't you get frustrated listening to the radio knowing what you have here? And I have, because before I had my label situation, I was trying to go through other channels and getting deals at other major labels. And the truth is, it's easier for a new artist to get put on than an old one. They don't look at it like, okay, he has a fan base. People know his music. You know, he can go tour. He has real talent. They're looking for the next thing so they can get credit. It's funny because I've been blessed to be able to work with a lot of legends. Ron Isley, I did maybe 6 or 7 on JS's first album. That was the Johnson Sisters. And I actually did the record that Ron did with the girls. Philip Bailey from Earth, Wind & Fire is my cousin. I worked with Pun. That was my guy. The funny thing about that is the record he did with Donnell was I originally did it. He personally asked me, but then when he passed, Joe went and put Donnell on it. Yeah, let's see. Luther, I worked on Luther's album. I wrote a record for Luther. Usher. When I did the Pac joint, the best part was when his mother sent my mother flowers. So that was the best part for me, to see my mother proud, and 2 black mothers with successful sons linking up, like, you know, that was what the dope part was for me. The great thing, or even the Deborah Cox record, the We Can't Be Friends, the great thing for me is, and a lot of people don't realize this about my group, when you think of groups from the 90s, if you're black, you really don't think of Next. Q's one of my good friends from 112. That was my favorite group. Jagged, Drew Hill. Those are the groups you think of, because BET was what we all grew up on, and that's what they were on. Not saying they weren't on MTV at all, but Clive kind of pushed us towards the crossover crowd. So at the time I didn't like it because we used to have to wear suits and stuff, and I was like, come on, I want to be fly. You know, I used to be mad. 112 and Jagged used to be like leather pants. I used to be heated. But now I live overseas. We have some of the biggest records in the history of the music business. Like, I was watching the Billboard Top 100s of all time, and Purple Rain was like 33 and Too Close was like 31. So for me, it's hard because my people didn't embrace us as much as the other side, but it was more lucrative. That's how, you see my house, people be like, you still singing? What you doing now? I'm living good. I got my lounge, I'm chilling, only because, I hate to say it, but our people sometimes throw us away. If white people love you, as long as you don't do no crazy crime or something, they love you forever. I used to live right next door to Peter Thomas and Cynthia. And I knew him when me and Peter both moved here around the same time, like 7 years ago. And we were both in the same building as far as working. We hit it off. I ended up moving, and I kept seeing him drive past my house. And I'm like, dude, why you got calling? What you doing driving past my house? He's like, what are you talking about? I just left home. He lived right next door. So we would be over each other's house every other day. And, you know, Uptown had closed. And he was like, yo, I got this venture, and I want to show you how to do other things besides music. And I was really blessed to be able to venture out, and him being a mentor to me and teach me different things. I really don't know a lot, and it's funny that a lot of people don't know, probably half the staff don't even know that I'm his partner, because that's not what I'm in it for. I want to learn. Like, we just did a photo shoot. They're going to be sending out, you know, different things. They have me on the show, but they actually edited out where he introduced me as his partner, so people thought I just happened to be at a Housewives tape. You have a lot of artists that every 6 months have to put out an album. That's because their records only lasted 6 months. Too Close still gets played. Wifey still gets played. Butter Loves, Just in Case, anything. The record I did for Ideal, whatever. I mean, just a whole catalog. A lot of cats have to hurry up and put something new out because it didn't do too well. They're popular, but they're not as successful as you think. I'm not saying that I'm just straight crazy rich, but I've been blessed to be comfortable to get residuals from records I did 13, 14 years ago. I want an album that's amazing for my audience. Don't get me wrong, this time I just want to release something, so that's why I put out a few mixtapes to say, look, I got something for y'all coming, but give me a second. What I will say is I have the next single on Mindless Behavior. They're re-releasing their album. Can I change that question? Mm-hmm. How do I feel about every writer trying to be an artist? Okay. That's the better question. Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's destroying the game because you have a lot of cats that aren't really talented vocally that are dope writers. Really dope, but they're not dope artists, and they need to stay behind the scenes. I understand ego gets in the way, but it saturates the market. I'm not a hater. I understand that you want to be in front of the camera, but you should want to eat more than anything. Nowadays, writers actually get more credit. Somebody once told me that I was Neo before Neo, because everybody knows Neo writes all these records. People didn't know when we were coming up, I was writing everybody's records. But I tried to make sure, not saying I'm talking about Neo right now, we're going to stop that one, but when it comes to me as a writer, what I've suffered from is that all my records don't sound alike. You know, the beginning ones with, you know, the Jaheems and Ideal, those records, I did with KG, so it had a certain sound. But you don't know half the records I've written. Jamie Foxx, Jay Holiday, Lloyd. I Could Change Your Life for Lloyd, Forecast for Jamie Foxx. A lot of them records you're not going to know because I'm not talking on them. I did 5 on, not the last Genuine, but the album before that, A Man's Thoughts. I did 1 on Elgin. You wouldn't know. I did 5 on Keith Sweat. You wouldn't know because, well, you would know from Genuine because he kept my backgrounds on the records. But besides that, I have a day job as an artist. If you sound like me, then y'all don't need me no more. About 6 years ago, my accountant took everything. I woke up one day and found out I was losing my house, my car, everything. $750,000 gone instantly. When I messed up, I spent money. When I was in a bad mood, I spent money. Me losing everything made me become a man. I didn't sign my first check personally until I was probably about 26, 27. I didn't have to. I entrusted certain people with my finances, with my life, and it was a learning experience. I've been blessed to be able to get a lot of that back and continue to work, but my show shows that. Like, I was living in the Vinings. I lost my house. I didn't have a car for 7 months. Nobody would have ever known. I didn't ask nobody for nothing. I worked, and everything worked out. A lot of artists want you to see all that. Everybody doing that. I want you to see the real cat that came up in Minnesota that didn't have nothing, that, went through a lot of different things. Rappers glorify their struggle, and it makes people go, dang, I feel that. I want people to relate to me and know that, I sing, I get paid to do something I love, but that's the only thing that differentiates me from somebody else. people meet me and they probably expect me to be a certain way, but because of my struggle, I mean, I'm extraordinarily ordinary. I mean, like I said, you look around my house, yeah, I got a few plaques sitting there. I got a Soul Train award in the garage, 8 Billboard awards in the garage. They're in the garage. That doesn't make me. I don't live in the past. My studio's upstairs. If you came in this house and didn't know who lived here, you wouldn't know what I do for a living, because that's just a part of me. You're not going to see the part that donates or goes to church or mentors and different things like that. That's why I wanted to do it here at my house, because I'm more than an artist. I'm more than a songwriter. And a lot of cats want to put this facade up of something else, and then you meet them and you're disappointed. I'd rather be a better man than artist. That's just how I was raised. My Twitter is @JustRL, JUSTRL, and my email address is justrl@ymail.com, or my Tumblr is justrl.com. I have a blog where I talk about relationships, different things like that, because I went through a divorce. I know what it's like to be cheated on and go through all these different things that women complain about that guys never talk about. Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is RL from NEXT. Y'all just finished watching my interview right here on FansiteTV.com. Log in, latest updates, hottest artists, best interviews. I'm telling you, I'm about to go get on my computer when this camera cut off right now and see the other stuff they got on there. So keep it locked.